What is the cost? The thing about pornography is that there's no end to the cost. There's no end. It keeps going and going and going. I just wanted to shorten this to just give you some examples. We're going to look at physiologically. Physiologically means like, inside of the body. We're going to look at biologically. We're going to look at socially. Maybe I didn't include socially, but we're going to look at spiritually. There's all of these dimensions to the human being, and it has an effect. So physiologically, this changes the structure of the brain. Look it up for yourself. Because there's going to be people in here that are going to say, no, I don't believe that. No, my brain didn't change. Every day I wake up and I look in the mirror, everything is the same. No. The frontal, and this goes for watching, even for watching a lot of TV, but it's even more vicious with pornography. When you are in a passive state, when you're in a passive state and you're just taking in pictures after picture or reels after reel after reel, the prefrontal cortex, which is made for making decisions, logical decisions, smart decisions, when it's not being used, it shrinks. And that person becomes more and more impulsive because now they're using the midbrain, which is where the emotions are and all the dopamine hits come from, right? So that part of the brain swells and the thinking part of the brain shrinks. Like it literally alters the brain. There's so many studies about it now, okay? Imagination. Kids love to imagine. We all have little kids. You have little brothers and sisters, right? And they're playing with their toys and they're lost in the world of imagination. That becomes lost. That becomes lost because you don't have to imagine. You're looking at it. So imagination, it loses its appeal because of that passive state of constant reception of images. And then the dopamine apparatus, which is like the midbrain, right? It gets hijacked. And the only thing the person wants is more and more and more. And now there's millions of pornography sites. Millions. Whatever you're looking for, it's there. All right? Biologically, now we're talking outwardly. All right? Outwardly. The number one effect that it has on men is erectile dysfunction. That might be a big word for y'all, so I'm gonna break it down. Your thing just stops working. Just stops working. Don't work no more. All right? And there's no cure for it. There's no cure. Okay? The closest cure that we have so far is you have to stop for at least a year. Right? You see the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying, lower your gaze? That's the wisdom of Allah saying, lower your gaze. All right? For women, it's the second one. Inability to orgasm. Studies, a lot of studies on this, right? Whatever you do, don't think there's no cost. There's a high cost. There's a price to pay, okay? And then of course, excessive premature ejaculation, loss of organ sensitivity, low libido. Low libido is like the attraction that you have to the opposite sex. It lowers or it just goes away. Because the brain gets used to that. It gets used to those reels, just watching, people having sex over and over and over again, so that when you're in front of the real person, you feel no attraction. That's what happens. You feel no attraction. She can be the prettiest woman in the world. She can be the finest thing in the world. You won't have an attraction because you've built up a psychological dependency on something that's fake. That's what happens. All right? And then there's all these new sexual appetites. I want to sleep with a monkey. I'm telling you the truth. That's there. It's in the literature. They have that stuff. People sleep with goats and it's all kinds of stuff. Right? But so when you get bored with watching millions of videos of one thing, you go to the next. All right, you go to the next. So that this is where all these fetishes come from. More and more risque. Go to the next one. All right? Psychologically, most of the time, these are the symptoms right here that usually someone will come to us at Lamps of Light, normally, psychologically. They'll just say, hey man, I'm super irritable. I can't, focus on my tests. I have all these tests. I can't focus. I'm not getting enough sleep. I'm exhausted. I don't know why. I'm depressed. Because there's that too. There's psychological effects that happen. The other thing is like the person becomes filled with shame. They begin to feel a sense of worthlessness, or sometimes hopelessness. The khutbah that I gave today was about not despairing. Even if you have a lot of sins, keep going back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even if you know you're gonna sin 10 minutes later. Just go back to Allah. That's all Allah wants from you, is those 2 minutes when you're completely sincere with Him. You're saying, Ya Allah, I have wronged myself. I am wronging myself. I am sinning. But Ya Allah, please forgive me. That's what Allah, He wants from you.